Virgo, welcome to the 2026 AstroHouse Deep Dive reading. So the way this is structured, this is applicable for your sun, your moon, your rising, Venus, stellium, whatever you normally listen to when it comes to tarot readings, still applicable here. This is a tarot reading by house and astrology. I do make reference to the signs connected to the houses. More applicable if this is your rising sign, more informational in any other way. And so with that, I'm going to talk about the house. I'll talk about the sign connected to the house and the eclipses. And then we'll get into the tarot reading. So the first house here is known as the house of self. So this is your personality, your self-expression, your conscious self, approach to life, attitude, viewpoint, energy, assertiveness, ego, physical presentation, vitality, body, first impression, outward behavior, how you see the world and how the world sees you. And so that is your first house. So it's your physical person. And so for you, it's in the sign of Virgo. And Virgo is analytical, responsible, organized, hardworking, logical, patient, reliable, faithful, and altruistic. And so those are the positive traits of the Virgo energy. And I did want to highlight here for 1 second. So we have been in the Pisces Virgo eclipse season all of 2025. That is going to be the case until July 26, 2026. Right now, the South Node is sitting in Virgo. Again, we'll be there until July. After that, it moves into Leo. Leo is your 12th house. And so I did want to just kind of note that because I'm going to talk about the eclipses as they show up. It's just that we won't get to the new South Node, the late 2026 South Node, until the end of this reading. And so the South Node transiting your first house is really about closing cycles down. It's kind of teaching you things about yourself here. It's connected to past, familiar, past lives, origin, mastery, completion, stagnation, what you already know and where you come from. And so a little bit different here than the card because the card really speaks to more of the natal placement. There's things that are connected to past lives. This is really more about completion, unless by some chance this is where your natal South Node is sitting. What you're doing is you're closing out cycles, and that is going to most likely show up multiple times in this reading because it feels like we've been in some heavy transformation. So let's get your overall first house for 2026. And it shows up. So I'm getting the Three of Wands here. That's a card of patience. It just really speaks to the amount of time. And so it's waiting for your ships to come in. This really is connected to the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a healing. So it's kind of giving yourself an opportunity to rest, recover, heal. But in conjunction with this Three of Wands here, you've been spending time kind of reflecting on things, taking whatever time you need to heal, maybe even physically heal from something here because this is your first house. It is your physical body. And so there's things here that you're learning about yourself, but the transformation looks like it's completing in 2026. I am getting the Judgment card showing up here, which does speak to going through the healing process, spending whatever time you need to get to the point where you feel better about yourself. This Judgment, very clear action, very clear decision on your part to move forward, complete the transformation, close out the cycle here with that South Node. So let's get any obstacles or challenges here for your first house. The sun. So the sun is highlighting and illuminating what you need to see. Some of that is going to be connected to your healing process, and some of that is really about the other side. So it's not coming through as an obstacle. It's more awareness and making sure that you're paying attention to your entire surroundings. I'm getting a lot of warmth. I'm getting actual heat off of this card. So there's something about heating up or something gaining in momentum. Something is going to open up on the other side of this Judgment card. I'm getting a very quick energy out of this. When you close out the healing process, and I'm also getting Q1. So early in 2026, it feels like you're going to be closing out the healing process and really kind of stepping into this Judgment card. That kind of strong sense of self, this, I know exactly what I want, I know where I'm going, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. It's that kind of energy I'm getting. And it feels like you're being inspired and motivated and almost kind of lifted up to do that here with the Sun card, because I'm getting illumination. It's illumination all around you, but it's on you at the same time. Five of Cups, a shift in perspective. this is not an obstacle either. This is the work that you've been doing. It's kind of shifting and not focusing and acting from a wounded place, but shifting into the positive, the 2 of Cups that are standing, and acting from that place instead of the 3 of Cups that are spilled over. And then I get the World. So this is completion and closure. It's really not an obstacle. This is kind of the work that you're doing. And so it's that closing out, opening yourself up to new and a new way of living. The Judgment card, the way it's coming through, I am getting a very strong sense of self coming through. So it feels like when you are on the other side of this transformation and you've closed everything out, you're more than ready to go after anything that you set your mind to. You're going to work for it, for absolutely. Nothing is just going to fall into your lap, but it does feel like you're ready and you feel ready. And that's the big piece here. So let's get the advice for your first house. Four of Pentacles, stabilizing. So this is about really solidifying your foundation. It's reflecting all the work that you're doing. It's connected to the 3 of Wands and the 4 of Swords. What the universe is saying here is lean into the work. The transformation is meant to create that more solid, strong foundation that you're then able to kind of act on and kind of build from there. 8 of Cups, walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. And Queen of Wands, take that action. It's about kind of embracing the transformation, the way the advice is coming through, and it's leaning into the positive, recognizing that things that don't belong, they just don't need to be there anymore. There was a time and a place, but now you're ready for the next phase, the next chapter. And I do get the sense here, I'm getting March. So March 2026, and you may want to write that down. Again, take it as it resonates for you. This timeline's not going to be applicable to everyone, but I am getting the sense of that timing. It almost feels like that's a completion timing, that there's something opening up for you in March 2026. And so the next house, it's the second house. So it's known as the house of values. Think of it from like a financial standpoint. It's connected to money and finances pretty heavily here. It's your investments, your material desires, your savings, expenses, movable property, debt management, assets, financial responsibility, resources, physical environment, self-worth. And so when it comes to values, it's anything of monetary value, but also what you love and value, including what you love and value about yourself. It's how you relate to and feel about the material world, what you value and why. And so this is the second house card. And it's in the sign of Libra. And so Libra is very charming, diplomatic, refined, balanced, fair, objective listener, empathetic, understanding, and romantic here. And so let's get your overall second house for 2026. So I'm getting the Knight of Cups here. So the Knight of Cups is about going after something that you want. I'm actually getting a lot of freedom connected to this because I've got the World showing up here as well. So whatever the cycle is that you're closing out of, it's already showing up here in your first house and it's now showing up in your second house. We'll see how it plays out throughout the rest of the reading. But whatever this transformation is, when you're ready to move forward, the universe is going to help clear the path here. I've got the Tower showing up. So as it relates to your finances, if you've had some sort of financial block, or you've had something that's been affecting your finances, not in a way that works for you. So may not have been like a full block, but you may not be as balanced as you want to be in your finances. Something here is going to open up because the Tower is going to remove anything that's not stable, anything that's not part of the future. It's helping to close out a cycle here. And it feels like it's liberating you in a sense with this Knight of Cups to go after something that you want. So whether that's an investment opportunity or it could be something connected to pursuing something that you love and value, take it as it resonates for you. I'm actually not getting a clear read on what the value is. So it could be finances, could be other things in your life, people, circumstances, things like that. So let's get the obstacles or challenges here for your second house Okay. It's a lot of cards, but I'm going to take them because they literally just flew on the floor. All right, so let's see what's showing up here. So I'm getting the Page of Wands, taking action. Until you close out the cycle, this might be a little bit more difficult to do because this page is more of that new beginning energy that I'm inspired and motivated. I'm ready to just take action. But I feel like here with the Tower and the World, once you're free of the old obligations or whatever was kind of holding you back, you're going to take action. So this feels very temporary in nature. Temperance, so there's balance. So something here is coming into alignment for you. The Devil energy. So the Devil energy, that Capricorn, the limitations and restrictions, that's actually connected to what you're closing out of. So old ways of thinking or old approaches to finances or what you value, it feels like there is a shift that's taking place there. I'm actually getting a shift in your belief system. Things that you used to value in the past are not going to be the same going forward. You put emphasis against maybe a certain area of your life. Like let's say you put it against finances, but you're going to move into more of an emotional space. That would be the kind of change that I'm picking up on. Again, that's just a hypothetical. It's not a scenario that will apply to everybody. But it feels like there is that kind of change that's taking place within you around what you value, because there's an old way of kind of placing a value against a person, a situation, whatever it is, that held you back. That's what you're freeing yourself of. Ace of Swords, and there's the clarity, and there's the releasing energy. Nine of Pentacles, and it's opening you up for abundance. This is abundance in multiple areas of your life. Whatever you're closing out of this cycle here, it's affecting you, what you value, in a way that kind of removes blocks. But it's this freedom, and then it's the Nine of Pentacles here. And then I get the Wheel of Fortune, which is growth and expansion. So the wheel's turning in your favor. I've got a lot of divine timing showing up here with the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower cards. Whatever this is that you're closing out of, it's actually affecting you in multiple ways. We only saw it so far in the first house, but I actually feel like it's a bigger deal here in the second house than it was in the first, because the way that you're shaping your environment, the way that you value other people, situations, that's all shifting. Let's get the advice here. Four of Pentacles, there's your solid foundation coming through from an advice standpoint. It's standing tall and confident in your own power, in your own strength. I get the Six of Pentacles showing up. So this is a card of generosity, which tells me that you're going to be focusing on balance, and then you're going to be able to grow and expand. That's exactly the kind of energy that I'm picking up here as it relates to your second house. Whatever has been kind of limiting you or holding you back, it feels like there is going to be some sort of reckoning or awakening that allows for progress to be made here. Something is shifting, but it's also not just that this block is being removed. It's the way that you're viewing what you love and value. That's also shifting here. Eight of Wands. And so the Eight of Wands is moving forward, very quickly moving forward. So what the universe is really saying here is balance yourself out, focus on opening yourself up to new opportunities, keep moving forward, embrace the new. It's this kind of, when you're free of the Tower, the World, when that happens here and you're free to go after what you want, the universe is giving you the green light and do it. You've been working on your foundation. When you're ready to move forward, that's when the Tower will strike. So it is divine timing. It's going to be different for everybody here, but it does come down to when you're ready to let go of the old, when you're truly ready to move on, that's when that lightning will strike the building. And that's when the kind of tower comes crumbling down because it doesn't have a solid foundation. But that's really just opening you up because you do have a solid foundation. And so the next house is the third house, and this is the house of communication. So it's connected to your conscious mind, your correspondence, your expression, your written and verbal language, ideas, data processing, early education, learning, community, siblings, neighbors, technology, transportation, short journeys, so anything by car, how you think, process, perceive, and share information. And so this is the third house card. and it's in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is passionate, ambitious, perceptive, dominant, intense, sensual, emotional, mysterious, and introspective here. And so let's dive into your overall third house energy for 2026. Okay. So I'm getting the Nine of Pentacles here. So the Nine of Pentacles, it's a card of abundance. So that one's showing up here again. But I love it showing up in this context because this is really focusing on a growth mindset. Page of Cups, this is you opening yourself up. The transformation showing up here again. I am getting the Five of Pentacles. It did come out in reverse. The way that this is coming through, in the past, you would have resisted letting go of a situation or changing your thought process around something else. Now it's about recognizing that this was actually the limiting behavior. This is something that you needed to let go of in order to really open yourself up to something new, more abundance, more growth in your life. Something more heartfelt too with that Page of Cups energy. I'm also getting this coming in from out of the cold. There's something about if you feel like you've been in a cocoon, like you're a butterfly, or you're about to become a butterfly, so you're in that cocoon stage, this actually feels like you're coming out of it. There's a transformation that's completing, and it feels like you come out a completely different person than when you went into it. So what are the obstacles and challenges here for your third house? So the Knight of Cups is moving forward. Strength card, finding the strength and courage within yourself to follow your heart, follow your dreams, and the Magician to work towards goals and dreams. So these aren't really coming through as obstacles. I feel like they were at one point, that you weren't free to do this, or that you tried, but this kind of limiting behavior or some sort of other limitation existed that wasn't allowing for you to really move forward. But the Strength card is showing up here. And so I do get the sense at some point you shifted your focus and you started prioritizing your strength to overcome whatever happened here, whatever now has you coming in from out of the cold or closing out that kind of transformative cycle. Because I'm getting that butterfly again, coming out of the cocoon, but it's because of the work that you're doing here. It's about you working towards goals and dreams and pursuing something here. I don't feel like that was always the case. I feel like something clicked. Something clicked at a point in time. I'm not getting a clear read on the timing either, but something clicked into place and you said, you know what, if I want better, I need to do something different. I need to take action here. That's where I'm picking up the Strength card. So it doesn't feel like it's an obstacle now in 2026, but it feels like it was something you had to learn about yourself in 2025. And it's that lesson that you're going to need to hold on to. That's why it's showing up here. What is the advice here for your third house? So the Five of Wands is coming through. These are obstacles and challenges, but it's not really the obstacles that are the advice. It's the Hermit. How are you addressing those? Are you letting those win? Are you doing the internal deep thinking, the healing work that is necessary in order to kind of overcome the obstacles? Or are you going to let that be a barrier here? It's almost coming through in the context of you've made it so far in this path, in this journey, reminding yourself of what you've been able to accomplish, everything that you've been able to handle is going to benefit you moving forward. It's about reminding yourself of your own strength here. Because I get the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is emotionally intelligent. This is somebody with a lot of empathy for other people, that real world understanding of people's reactions and emotions. And it feels like here, it's also that kind of softened approach to yourself and the way that you're looking at things. Because it's not this hard or fast rule. You don't need to be critical of yourself. You don't need to kind of put yourself up to this unrealistic standard that you're never going to be able to meet. This really almost feels like it's a softening of yourself to yourself in the way that you're approaching things, the way that you're approaching life, and giving yourself that kind of freedom to move forward. I'm definitely getting, again, the reminder around just how far you've come, because you have worked through a lot in this journey. And so it's about reminding yourself of just everything that you've accomplished up until this moment. And so the next house is the 4th house. So this is the house of home and family. It's your history, your ancestry, parents, real estate, property, land, roots, family and cultural traditions, foundation, childhood, nurturing parent, so typically associated with mother. Physical and emotional concept of home, conditions in early and late life, and the atmosphere that shaped you. And so this here is the 4th house card. And for you, it's in the sign of Sagittarius. And so Sagittarius is independent, honest, intelligent, free-spirited, caring, open-minded, adventurous, and a deep thinker. So let's get your overall 4th house for 2026. This is a very clear message. So I'm getting the 5 of Wands here. So the obstacles and challenges, the world, they're coming to an end. On the other side of that is long-term stability here with the King of Pentacles. I love this. This is a very clear message. So if you have been dealing with a lot of challenges here in your home environment, your surrounding environment, so think of the neighborhood, everything else, or even just the structure itself. If you've been dealing with challenges here, it feels like that's going to come to an end in 2026. And on the other side of it, this is coming through as stability, but it's also growth and prosperity. It's giving you this very solid foundation. There's things that have been transforming in and around you over the last year, year and a half, like even as I'm recording this in December of 2025, it feels like a lot of learning, a lot of recognizing what's not stable, what doesn't belong, even around your home environment. I'm also getting something connected to the lessons. So let's get the obstacles and challenges here. Four of Cups. This is an obstacle or a challenge. So when it comes to your home environment or just in general, if you allow yourself to just kind of accept what is without making any kind of change to improve the circumstances, that would actually be an indication of the cycle not closing out. And so it's coming up in the context of this was part of the lesson that you were learning. This is what I was picking up on right before I grabbed these cards. And so that Four of Cups says, don't let yourself get in a stuck situation. Don't just make do with what is because you don't feel like that there's something better. What the universe is saying here with the 10 of Wands is, if you've been carrying other people's burdens and responsibilities, and that's been creating some sort of obstacle or some sort of chaotic energy, now's the time to let it go. Now's the time to work towards your own goals and dreams here with the 9 of Cups and really make that the priority. And it's about breaking a cycle. It's definitely coming through as breaking a cycle around your home environment and what you're willing to tolerate versus not. So I'm getting that as a pretty clear message here. But it looks like the obstacles connected to it are coming to a close. So let's get the advice for you. Knight of Swords, keep moving forward. 7 of Pentacles, invest in yourself, invest in your future. So when it comes to your home environment, it's putting in this King of Pentacles energy. It's really prioritizing stability, long-term success here, working towards all of that, moving in that direction. And I get the Magician here. So the Magician's really about manifesting goals and dreams. And so it's the work that you're doing to create that kind of home environment that you want. And it feels like you're going to be able to do this more. You've learned a lot around what doesn't work over the last year, year and a half. And now you're going to incorporate those lessons into, okay, I know it doesn't work. So let me kind of focus on what does. And let me build from that place. And it feels like that's the shift that's happening here. The only caution that's now coming up again is that 4 of Cups. Don't let yourself get stuck or just accept what is. you can always make a different choice and you can always take action to kind of change the circumstances here. Even a small change can have a pretty big effect depending on what that change is. So it's about reminding yourself of that. And so the next house is the 5th house. And so this is the house of pleasure and fun. So it's connected to passion, creativity, entertainment, recreation, athletics, fun, music, fashion, art, self-expression, dating, casual love affairs, so anything that doesn't lead to marriage, sex, flirtation, drama, theater, imagination, performing, playfulness, children, and fertility. And so that is the 5th house card. And it's in the sign of Capricorn. And so Capricorn is ambitious, strategic, disciplined, confident, practical, persistent, humorous, wise, strong, and successful. And so let's get your overall 5th house for 2026. The Empress is coming through. This actually feels like something is coming into alignment, but this also speaks to transformation. So you might be valuing things connected to pleasure, fun, hobbies, anything here that you do outside of work really is part of the 5th house energy. And so you might find that you're approaching things from a different point of view, that you're transforming. And this really goes back to the 2nd house where I was picking up some sort of change in what you value or the way that you value things. And it feels like it's showing up here in your 5th house. I'm also getting the World, so closing out a cycle. Something is transforming. You're transforming. I get the sense here for the majority of 2026, and I'm really picking up like the back 9 months, so the first quarter versus the rest of the year. The rest of the year feels like you're really stepping into something, like coming out of your shell, opening yourself up, pursuing things in a different way, really focused and prioritizing on just your own strength and power in that decision-making process and the autonomy over your decisions and your actions. There's something that's coming through in this context that feels very empowering. I'm getting the 7 of Wands here, and the 7 of Wands is really about you advocating for yourself. It's standing up and saying, this is what I want. I'm closing out the cycle. I'm stepping into this kind of higher vibration with the Empress, and I'm prioritizing what really matters to me, and that's what I want. So let's get the obstacles and challenges here for your 5th house. Death card, Scorpio energy. This is change and transformation. So it's the change itself that is kind of the barrier to kind of the transformation. So it's you're either in the transformation or you've completed it. That's how it's coming through. That's the kind of obstacle here. So it's not really an obstacle. It's more of the process itself. I'm getting the Hanged Man here. And so the Hanged Man is pause or delay so that you can see things from a different perspective. And then I get the Strength card, Leo energy coming through again. And so this is really about, this speaks to all of the change, the transformation, the finding the strength within yourself to embrace this new beginning and allow yourself to close out of whatever doesn't belong anymore. Because that Hanged Man is showing you everything. It's showing you this is what works, this is what doesn't work. This is the path that you want to choose. This is the one that you want to avoid. And it feels like you're getting that kind of information, and it's finding the strength within yourself to then act on it, which is what I'm picking up here in the overall energy. The obstacles are really kind of relating back to the transformation period. So once you close that out, these aren't obstacles anymore. This is really the learning connected to that healing process, the transformation. This is about you figuring out what works for you and then moving in that direction. So what is the advice here for your 5th house? So I've got the devil showing up here, Capricorn energy. Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups, something is coming into alignment here. Three of Cups. So Two of Cups, Three of Cups. This is about you prioritizing happiness and moving in that direction. But the Capricorn energy here, it feels like it's connected to the lessons that you've learned. Again, the lessons are coming up repeatedly in this reading. And so this entire transformation, when you kind of find yourself in a situation of not wanting to keep moving forward or just wanting to almost like give up and not pursue something that you really want, what this Capricorn energy is saying is, no, take a look at everything that you've undergone. Take a look at the transformation itself, where you are at the start, where you are now. Stark contrast. You're not the same person. I'm getting the Hanged Man energy. So take a look at the big picture and the direction that you want to go, and then find that strength and courage within yourself to say, I'm not going to accept things as is. I want different. I want better. Keep moving in this direction, because you've got Two of Cups, Three of Cups. So you're going to see some progress here this year. I also have two cards connected to relationships showing up with the Empress and the Two of Cups. This is a house of relationships, so take it as it resonates. I'm not getting that as a dominant energy, but it's there. So did want to highlight that. Something does feel like it's coming into alignment. There's a shift that's happening within you, and it feels, it may, because the energy I'm picking up of you at this moment when I'm recording this in December feels like you don't see this coming, that it's not clear to you that this is all going to work out in your favor, but you are moving in the right direction. And so the next house here is the sixth house. And so the sixth house is really connected to your daily life, your daily routines. So it's your health, vitality, well-being, your fitness, your diet, your hygiene, your habits, structure, schedule, duty, tasks. It's your employment, pets, small creatures also, but it's really about what you do on a regular basis here. And it's in the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is innovative, artistic, individualistic, compassionate, visionary, humanitarian, eclectic, courageous, and optimistic here. And so what I'm going to note now is the North Node, because right now the North Node is in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is your seventh house, but July 26, 2026, it actually moves into your sixth house. And so the North Node is going to be about the lessons we're meant to learn. And so this is future, it's purpose, it's growth, it's forward potential, karmic path, destiny, what you need to learn, and where you're going. And so that is what's opening up here for you in the sixth house. You're going to have lessons connected to your daily life, your daily routines. So let's get the overall sixth house for 2026. Seven of Wands, you're advocating for yourself. There's some sort of change that's coming through with the Seven of Wands. I'm getting the Eight of Wands, so forward movement, but this is in the direction of something that you really want. I don't get the sense that you were able to fight for this in the past, not the way that you are now, because I'm getting this kind of liberated, freeing energy from you, where you're going to be able to make the necessary changes that you want to make in your daily life, your daily structure. Queen of Cups, self-love and self-care. It's meeting your emotional needs. There's some sort of adjustment that you want to make in your life that allows for you to kind of take the time that you need to prioritize your own well-being, your own emotional well-being. Two of Wands, this is a very clear choice here. You see potential, you want to make the changes here, and you're going to. So what are the obstacles and challenges here for your sixth house? Five of Pentacles. So Five of Pentacles, it's the card of abandonment. It's leaving something out in the cold. That is part of the change that I'm picking up on. I'm not picking this up as an obstacle, but there's something about this. I'm getting the Six of Cups, a card of nostalgia. and the Tower. So there might be something here that you've held on to and that you weren't really ready to release. And that would prevent you from making any kind of necessary adjustment in your daily life because it requires the release of something. But it's the Six of Cups here in the middle that feels like you've held on to something for maybe a little bit too long, or you were hoping for some sort of turnaround that things would improve with whatever your normal daily life looks like. But it's not really working out that way. So the change here is really focused on that Queen of Cups energy and says, I can hold on to my happiness, but I need to prioritize my happiness. I don't need to hold on to situations here in the past that just don't work for me anymore. And then the Tower feels like it's that sudden release, the kind of opening, that kind of freeing energy that I'm picking up on, where you are able to make the necessary changes in your life. So what is the advice here for your sixth house? So I'm getting the Magician here. So manifesting, so working towards your goals and dreams. Eight of Swords. So putting a lot of thought and energy into things. I'm also getting a lot of thought connected to the past. There's something about almost like disconnecting. So if you were holding on to something because you were expecting something to turn around, like a situation had gone sour or bad, and you were thinking that it was going to return to a positive place, you can let go of the negative and hold on to the positive memories. I'm also getting Temperance here because there's something about balancing yourself out emotionally. It's about finding that balance within yourself to say, I can be happy again. So if happiness has been a struggle in your daily life and what you want to do is prioritize that again, it feels like you're being given an opportunity in 2026 to redo your schedule, to redo your life or restructure it in a way that allows for more happiness, more emotional well-being. Kind of that energy is what I'm picking up here. And so the next house is the seventh house, and this is the house of partnerships. And so right now, this is where the North Node is sitting. So it's been here for all of 2025. It shifted in January 2025 into these signs. And so the seventh house, you might have noticed, is connected to your one-to-one relationships here. It is a house of marriage, but it's also business partnerships, other romantic partners, kind of those long-term significant relationships in your life. It's also enemies, contracts, agreements, negotiation, divorce, lawsuits, courts, treaties, how you relate to others and why. All part of that seventh house energy. And so this is the seventh house card. And it's in the sign of Pisces. Again, right now, this is where the North Node is sitting. But Pisces is intuitive, compassionate, generous, creative, gentle, imaginative, selfless, influential, romantic, and emotional here. And that North Node, again, it's about your future, your purpose, your growth. So it's the karmic path, destiny, what you need to learn, where you're going. And so there are lessons that you're going to be closing out or kind of learning as part of the process until July 2026, where it goes from your house of one-to-one relationships into your house of daily life and routines. So let's get your overall seventh house for 2026. Two more. All these cards. Okay, there we go. These cards want to jump out for you. So right away, I'm getting the Nine of Wands with the Emperor and the Ace of Wands here. So the Nine of Wands indicates some sort of block or barrier, that you might have had some sort of relationship wound around maybe opening up. This tells me that you've actually conquered this. That part of the karmic lesson that you were meant to learn was around relationships and interacting with other people. Maybe something about giving your power away with that Emperor energy. I don't feel like that's going to be the case anymore. I feel like you have, with the Ace of Wands, taken the action necessary to dismantle this Nine of Wands, to break down your own barriers. heal from whatever this is. Step into that Emperor energy. That Emperor, it's all about stability. It's progress. It's kind of making sure that your needs are also met. The Emperor knows his worth and value here. The other cards I'm getting are the Eight of Pentacles. So when it comes to having the kind of relationships and the interactions with those really significant people in your life, Eight of Pentacles says that you've mastered this. You know how to relate to other people. You just needed to be reminded not to give your power away. Hanged Man coming through. And so Hanged Man is some sort of pause or delay, but it was giving you an opportunity to see things from that big picture perspective. In a lot of ways, it's very similar to that Pisces energy where it's intuitive and just being able to look at the big picture and kind of see everything come to completion. Whatever this is, because it's almost reading like a little bit of a timeline here, that you're kind of early in 2026. It almost feels like a test that you're going to be given an opportunity to demonstrate just what you've learned around yourself, your power, boundaries, relationships, the way you interact with other people, and just how much, because I'm getting these leaky boundaries. So how much of your power you have kind of said, you know what, I'm going to compromise. I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to do these things, when the culmination of doing that over time backfired. And so now it's about, because we've had the solid foundation show up a couple of times earlier in the reading, it feels like when it comes to the way that you interact with those one-on-one significant people in your life, things are shifting. Things are shifting. It's because of you. And it's the recognition of, you know exactly how to be in a healthy relationship. You know what kind of boundaries you need to set. You know exactly what you're aiming towards with this Hanged Man, because you can see the big picture. You can see where you're going. And that is helping you to dismantle the wound here. So these almost read like separate. Okay. So let's get any obstacles or challenges here in your 7th house. So the Eight of Wands here, it's moving forward. And this feels like what you're doing is you're integrating a transformation. And so any kind of progress is going to be on the other side of integrating all of these lessons and really prioritizing your stability. This is coming through as it will open up once you've completed the transformation. Four of Swords, there's the healing process coming through. 10 of Wands, all the work that you're doing, it's putting down other people's burdens and responsibilities. This actually feels like it's connected to the wound. So in the past, if you felt like, you know what, let me just do this. It's going to be a lot easier if I just take it on myself and just take care of everything here. Again, noble intentions, but really kind of backfired on you, because then everything fell on you. And it was kind of one of those things, when you started picking up other people's responsibility, it then became your own. You kind of incorporated it as your own, but it wasn't yours to begin with. And so there's something around this entire process that you've been learning. And it feels like that's part of what's being solidified in 2026 is the recognition and the awareness of, you know what, that's yours. You handle it. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm doing the work, healing, but I need to be able to go after something here that I want for myself. So what is the advice here for your 7th house? It's a very clear message of complete the transformation. So I'm getting the World showing up here. So it's closing out the old cycle, the one where you gave your power away to other people. The Fool is showing up here. So it's really about endings and new beginnings. And so a new beginning, focus on the new beginning here. 6 of Wands, a lot of success connected to it. And the success really comes from all the work that you've done. It's not something that just organically is going to happen. This is something where, because of all the effort that you've put into the transformation, closing it all out, you're the one creating the new opportunity. You're the one creating success here in this new opportunity. And so the next house here is the 8th house. So this is known as the house of death and transformation. So it is focused on that death and rebirth energy. It's change, it's spirituality, it's soul growth, regeneration, the occult, secrets, shadow side of the psyche, shared possessions, partners' finances, hidden desires, sexuality, intimacy, inheritance, wills, loans, and taxes. So the eighth house can be about power and control. A lot of that is usually connected to finances. So the eighth house is, think of the money you earn from an employer. Think of your spouse's income or any other outside source where you have income coming towards you, any kind of debt. All of that is the eighth house energy. This is directly opposite the second house, which would be the money that you have in a savings account. And so a little bit different, but touching on financially different areas, but then also connected to any kind of transformation that needs to happen here. So let's get your overall energy for the eighth house for 2026. Judgment. I love this. This is completing a transformation. This is you rising up from the ashes here. Ace of Cups, new beginning. You're approaching something brand new. You're opening up. It actually feels like it's connected to the second house here. They are opposite on the astrological wheel, but this, with the Three of Cups, you're prioritizing happiness. You're creating some sort of new beginning, but you're coming at it from a very solid place with this Judgment card. This is really standing tall and confident in your own strength, in your own energy to say, this is what I really want. I'm initiating a new beginning. You know, I actually don't think I mentioned it's in the sign of Aries. I didn't. And so Aries is assertive, determined, ambitious, spontaneous, brave, curious, independent, resourceful, competitive, and a leader. And so that is the Aries energy. So I'm not surprised to see the Judgment showing up here, because that would be that kind of Emperor Aries type of energy where you are going to stand tall and confident and say, no, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for a new start. So let's get the obstacles or challenges here for your eighth house. High Priestess, trusting your intuition. The Ace of Pentacles. So we have another new beginning showing up here, but this is meant to be grounded, stable, long lasting. And then I've got the World showing up here. And so again, it's reading more like a timeline. So you're ready for change. You're ready for this new beginning once you close out the cycle, once you kind of let go of the past, and once you kind of have that solid foundation under you. That's when Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. I love the new beginning connected here because it's listening to your heart. It's focused on making it real in the 3D, but it's also coming at it from a stable foundation, wanting to build something over time. So what is the advice here for your eighth house? So the Hanged Man's looking at the big picture. As you're kind of embracing this new beginning and you're feeling out, okay, does this work? Does this not work? Because the Ace of Cups, your emotions are going to be heavily tied to it. It's really taking a look at everything happening around you. Is this where I want to go? Is this going to lead me to where I want to go? Three of Pentacles coming through. So the Three of Pentacles, it's teamwork and collaboration. So it is building, and it could be building with another person. Take it as it resonates. The eighth house does include partner's finances, things like that. So there could be something around that you want to build kind of from a new start, new beginning. Death card. So Scorpio energy, change and transformation in the house of change and transformation. So it's really about embracing the change. It's leaning into all the lessons that you've learned throughout the entire process and incorporating those into your decisions moving forward. So the next house here is the ninth house. And so it's known as the house of philosophy and knowledge. It's really about growth and expansion. And so it is higher wisdom, study, the superconscious mind, religion, ideologies, belief systems, exploration, foreign destinations, travel, global awareness, mental exploration, publishing, law, ethics and morals, and then large animals. And so this is the ninth house card. and it's in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is stable, hardworking, reliable, patient, trustworthy, practical, sensual, generous, and loyal. And so let's get your overall 9th house for 2026. Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is pause or delay. So any kind of growth opportunities, it feels like any kind of pause that is existing. So even at the time of recording this, I do feel like something here has been paused. Some sort of growth opportunity has been put on some sort of delay, but it's really giving you an opportunity to kind of work through something. The big picture really does indicate, I'm trying to grab the energy. It feels like you needed to kind of complete the transformation, really learn the lessons in order to really embrace this kind of growth, any kind of knowledge, any kind of other type of expansion in your life. So whether it's connected to travel or foreign people or anything that kind of helps expand your mind, allows for growth here. I'm getting a lot of messages. So the Hanged Man is connected to the growth itself, being able to look at the big picture. That actually does feel like some of the things, at least one of the lessons that you were learning, but I'm also getting something around the lessons connected to the transformation. And whatever that transformation is doing, it was helping to align you with some sort of growth opportunity in the future. That feels like it's still in progress, still in motion. I don't feel like that has yet grounded. Queen of Pentacles, but it looks like here it will ground in 2026 with that Queen of Pentacles energy. That's what I was just trying to tap into. And the King of Cups here. So the Queen of Pentacles, King of Cups. I love these two cards together because they both speak to being emotionally grounded and also being grounded in the material aspect. And so this is saying that you're ready for whatever this new opportunity is, because I am picking up a new opportunity. Now, the timing of it, it's going to be divine timing. Hanged Man is divine timing, but it's giving you a chance to really take a look at the big picture, identify long-term Queen of Pentacles, what's in your best interest. King of Cups, what's the best approach for you? What allows you to move forward, but also honor who you are and all these lessons that you've learned about yourself. What are the obstacles and challenges here with the 9th house? Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups can be that confusing, overwhelming energy. Now, the best way to handle that, Hanged Man, take a look at the big picture. If you find yourself getting overwhelmed, maybe a lot is coming at you all at the same time, that can indicate a lot of opportunities all at once. It's really taking a look at the big picture. What do you want? What's in your best interest? Three of Cups, prioritizing happiness here. And the Hermit, a lot of internal reflection. And so the Hermit and the Three of Cups feel like they're part of the Hanged Man, part of the work that you're doing, kind of identifying that right path forward for yourself, the one that can be built over time, the one that's very grounded and stable. It's the Seven of Cups here that if you find yourself in that overwhelming energy, give yourself that pause, take a step back and take a look and see, just checking in, am I heading in the right path? Am I moving in the right direction here? Taking those right actions for myself? That's how it's coming through. So let's get the advice here for your 9th house. Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is moving on. It's moving towards something more calm, more grounded and stable. That's the direction that you're moving. And I actually feel like that embodies the work that you're doing here. 10 of Cups, prioritizing long-term happiness, long-term success with that 10 of Cups. It is a marriage card, so take it as it resonates. I'm not getting a lot of love in your reading, but I am getting a lot of progress. You prioritizing your emotions here. 5 of Pentacles, whatever it is that you need to leave behind, it's really in your best interest to let it go. There is something that has been blocking you. I do feel like it's part of this kind of overall transformative energy that I'm picking up on. So you're already aware of what doesn't belong in your future energy. this is really just confirmation that it's in your best interest to let it go. And so the next house here is the 10th house. So it's the house of career and public reputation. It is connected to your legacy, your success, your status, achievements, respect, authority, professional goals, power, influence, public persona, recognition, destiny, contribution to society, fame, how we want to be remembered, and then the dominant parent. So whereas 4th house typically associated with mother, 10th house typically associated with father. And so this is the 10th house card. And the 10th house here is in the sign of Gemini. And so Gemini is curious, communicative, agile, adaptable, intelligent, youthful, outgoing, creative, and perceptive. And so let's get your overall energy for the 10th house for 2026. Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords, lies, manipulation, and deceit. But I'm getting the Tower with it. So there's something here, because I'm getting a blocked vision. When it comes to your career or your career path, something here, you needed a different point of view. You needed to see whatever it is that was missing. You may not have realized something here was missing, but the Tower is really helping you out. The Tower is creating some sort of opportunity by removing some sort of block, but really giving you the ability to see what's missing. Page of Cups so that you can pursue something here that you really want. I'm getting a very clear sense, whatever this transformation is, on the other side of it, your vision is stronger, colors are more brighter. There's something about the way that you're looking at things. It feels like it's shifting, and that shift is necessary in order for you to see what you need to see in your career. And if it's not about your career necessarily, because some people are retired, and it would be connected to legacy, any kind of success here. There's something about just where you are going that you need to see more clearly so that you can follow something here that you really want with the Page of Cups. So let's get the obstacles or challenges in your 10th house. Five of Wands. So you were hitting obstacles and challenges here. In this area of your life, it feels like you were encountering these. 10 of Wands, it didn't matter how much work you did. You had a really hard time overcoming these obstacles and challenges. But what I'm seeing here in 2026 is that you're going to be victorious with the 6 of Wands energy. And the victory feels like it's connected to whatever opens up, whatever new kind of information is shared with you, the way that you're looking at things, however you're receiving this kind of Tower energy. It's clearing things up. And with that, it's clearing up the way that you've been approaching obstacles, either in your work environment, public reputation. Take it as it resonates for you. But I do get a sense of kind of victory. So what is the advice here for your 10th house? So the Hierophant here, so Taurus energy, and this is very grounded and stable. It's union. It's coming into union. It's pursuing something here that you really want. It's also connected to your belief systems. High Priestess, trust your intuition. Knight of Wands. So there is something shifting, but I actually feel like there's something, because I picked up on this earlier in the reading too, where your belief systems, it's really about what you value, is shifting. And with that shift, it feels like something clicks into place, like something comes into alignment and you're able to move forward. You're able to act from a place of balance and pursue something here that you really want. Your intuition is going to help guide you in this process by giving you, yes, this is the direction that you need to move. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel right. And the Knight of Wands here, the universe is saying, act on it. Take the action. And so the next house is the 11th house. So it's known as the house of friendship. Think of your tribe. And so it is the community, it's altruism, it's social groups, organizations, colleagues, networking, it's earned wealth, ideals, humanitarian causes, philanthropy, individual and societal aspirations, hopes, wishes, good fortune. Usually comes up in the context of friends. And this would be you interacting with the group, not the individual relationships. Those individual relationships would be 7th house. And so this is the 11th house card. And it's in the sign of Cancer here. And so Cancer is nurturing, loyal, supportive, intuitive, compassionate, resilient, domestic, empathetic, and protective. And so that is Cancer energy. And let's get your overall 2026 for your 11th house. So what is the overall theme, the overall energy? Tower starting to show up a lot. I am getting the 8 of Wands, and this is, it feels like freedom. So this is a forward movement, a lot of progress. You free to go after what you want. We've got the 3 of Wands after a period of delay. The delays are coming to an end. That is another kind of dominant message in this reading. The Tower showing up here, and what this is, it's kind of giving you the freedom to pursue something that you really want. Whether it's expanding your friend base or it's deepening the connections here, whatever kind of goals you have set. I'm actually not getting that in the cards. I'm not getting a clear kind of Ace of Cups or anything like that, at least not yet. What I am picking up here is that there has been some sort of delay. Maybe it's about getting together or spending time with these people. Take it as it resonates for you. Whatever the delay is, whatever that kind of sense of frustration is, that's what's being removed with the Tower. And after that, you're free to go after what you want. You're free to just explore this new beginning energy that I'm picking up from you. It's the transformation. I'm very, very much picking up your transformation. So what are the obstacles and challenges here for your 11th house? Six of Wands, card of success and victory. The Hermit, a lot of deep thinking, a lot of that Virgo energy, the one that says, okay, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to do all of the work here. I'm going to be victorious. Magician, I'm going to manifest what I want. None of this is coming through as an obstacle or challenge. This actually feels like it's working through the transformation. And on the other side of the transformation, you're able to either spend more time with your friends or really put yourself out there in your friend group in a more meaningful way, or the community around you. So what is the advice here for your 11th house? So I'm getting the Death card. So change and transformation. It's the endings and new beginnings. It's leaning into the transformation. It's all the work that you're currently doing now, even early 2026. I do keep getting that March time period, but again, take it as it resonates. Strength card. So finding the strength and courage within yourself to really lean into these changes. Recognize that when something is being removed from your path, that there's a reason for it. Ace of Pentacles, open up to a new beginning, one with a solid foundation. The World, it's closing out an old cycle. That's another message that's been coming through pretty clearly. And so it's leaning into the change here. It's allowing yourself the freedom and really taking the time now, early 2026, to prioritize the healing process, the transformation process, kind of incorporate all of those lessons into your person so that you're able to do all of these other things that are opening up for you. And so the last house here, it's the 12th house. So it's known as the house of transcendence. It's really the house of the unseen. Think of yourself away from the rest of the world. So it is your hidden self. It is the unseen here. Let me just make sure I didn't put a card in wrong. Okay. Subconscious, unconscious, escape, fantasy, rest, dreams, sleep, addictions, self-destruction, limitations, detachment, confinement, hospitals, brothels, secrets, spiritual experiences, psychic abilities, temples, meditation, karmic debt, intuition, freedom, and healing. So again, it's everything that you do kind of completely on your own, away from the rest of the world. And so this is the 12th house card. And it's in the sign of Leo. And so Leo is charismatic, brave, ambitious, confident, enthusiastic, passionate, generous, protective, and leader. And this is also where I'm going to highlight, we've got the South Node, so the node's changing signs. So the South Node is sitting in your first house, your kind of physical body, your outward self. This is your inner self. And so it's shifting. And so starting July 26, 2026, it moves into the 12th house here. And these are the lessons that you've already learned. They're complete. It's time to let go. So let's get your overall 12th house. Hermit, Virgo energy. So a lot of that deep thinking, internal reflection, the healing process itself. It's also showing up here with the Four of Swords. So between the Hermit and the Four of Swords, this is really you taking a step back, giving yourself an opportunity to heal what needs to be healed, really kind of process, move through this energy. It's not about compartmentalizing. It's not about dismissing it. This is really about you working through it. And I'm also getting the Ten of Swords here. This actually feels like you're letting go. Part of the transformation process, because that's what's showing up here in the 12th house, is where you are from a healing standpoint and the work that you're doing. And it feels like what you're doing is you're letting go of an old situation, one that caused you a deep amount of pain. That Ten of Swords, I mean, this is somebody being stabbed in the back 10 times. That's not a little bit of pain. It's a lot of pain. And so this is what you're healing from. So let's get any obstacles or challenges here. King of Wands. So the King of Wands is about taking action. Right now, you're in a deep reflection. So any kind of action, it needs to be on the other side of this completion. Page of Wands, new beginning energy. And then the Two of Wands, making a clear choice, a clear decision to move in a specific direction. So these are coming through as obstacles because that's not really the point of this house. This is about you kind of doing the internal healing work. Then you're able to take some sort of action. But this is really a time for you to reflect and heal. Or I should say this house is really around that. So let's get the advice here for your 12th house. So I'm getting the Nine of Wands here. The Nine of Wands being that wounded warrior, this is the healing process. You're meant to prioritize it. It's not meant to prioritize action while you're going through the healing process or while you're kind of closing out this transformation cycle. Spend the time that you need to kind of healing. Page of Cups, opening yourself up to new opportunities, new possibilities. Hierophant also coming through. So take it as it resonates. Could be about a relationship. I'm getting more of the changes in the way that you're approaching things, your belief systems, what you love and value, just everything here that you want to explore. It's about aligning with what you want, coming into union with what you want here. And that requires the healing process. That requires you to do the work in order to align with what you truly want. And so I'll shuffle those off camera. Let's get any last messages here. Anything else that Virgo needs to know for 2026? King of Wands. So the King of Wands is take action. The Star, it's the healing process, but it's also pursuing your goals and dreams. Both messages are coming through with that Aquarius energy. And then I get the High Priestess. It's trust yourself, act from a balanced place here. I'm picking up a year of personal growth. The way that all of this energy is coming through, the transformation, but it's really on the other side, and the kind of growth period that you're going through, I do feel like you're going to hit some major milestone, and it does feel like it's going to be early in 2026. But again, take the timeline as it resonates. It's going to relate back to the kind of work that you're doing and how quickly you're able to kind of move through some of this on your own. So Virgo, this is your reading for 2026. I hope it resonates. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.